Hello everyone, I hope you are doing fine. And in this video, we will be talking about the preparation of the profit and loss account and the balance sheet in accordance with the provisions of the existing Companies Act, excluding the managerial remuneration. So, preparing a profit and loss account and a balance sheet according to the provisions of the existing Companies Act involves several steps. Here's a simplified guide to assist you in the preparing these financial statements, in excluding the managerial remuneration. So first of all, we will take a look about the structure of the profit and loss account, or we can also say it as the statement of profit and loss. So let us just do it step by step, and so that we can also learn what are the things included in this. So this is the formats. The first format is the profit and loss statement. Okay. First thing is revenue. It is the revenue from the operations, also known as the revenue from operations. And then the other income. Second head will be this is the first head, and the second head will be what? The expense. Okay. In the expense, we want to talk about cost of materials consumed and purchase of stock in trade, also known as SIT. After that, changes in inventory of finished goods, work in progress, and SIT. SIT stands for stock in trade. After that, the employee benefit expense, employee benefit expenses, and finance costs. Depreciation and amortization expense, and then other expenses. These all expenses will be included in the profit and loss. Then the third head will be the profit before exceptional and extraordinary items. And tax. Fourth will be the exceptional items. Fifth will be the profit before extraordinary items. And and tax. And sixth will be the extraordinary items. After that will be the profit, that is the seventh head, which is profit before tax. Eighth head would be the tax expenses. Now the tax expenses also have current tax and deferred tax. And after that, the entire amount will be the profit for the period. Okay. So if we have a look at this, it is like this. Revenue from operations and other income. When added back, they becomes the total revenue. Let us just keep it in here. Yeah. Let us just code it in the markdown first. Ah. So what happens when the revenue from the operations and the other income are added? It becomes the total revenue. Expenses becomes the cost of the material consumed, purchase of the stock in trade, changes in the inventory, employee benefit expenses, finance cost, depreciation and amortization expenses, and other expenses. This becomes the total expenses. After that, the total revenue minus total expenses becomes the profit. I haven't mentioned it, I should mention it. That total revenue minus total expenses becomes the profit before exceptional items and tax. या फिर exceptional and extraordinary items and tax. Okay. Then profit before extraordinary items and exceptional items in tax minus exceptional items becomes my profit before extraordinary items in tax. Other than that, profit before extraordinary items in tax minus extraordinary items becomes my profit before tax. Okay. Profit before tax minus tax expenses becomes my profit for the period. And same is the thing happening in here. Total expenses minus total revenue becomes the profit before exceptional items and tax. After that, the exceptional items, then it becomes the profit before tax. And after that, when the tax is subtracted, it becomes the profit for the period. This is the format and working of the profit and loss statement. Let us just look at in the proper view. Will be like this. So revenue, expenses, profits, exceptional items, then after that extraordinary items, then after that PBT, and that's it. And this. Okay. Now, same, we shall talk about the format of the balance sheet. Format of the balance sheet. Balance sheet in the companies follow the schedules 3, part 1. So it will be like this. First of all, will be the equities and liabilities. Which is the shareholders' funds. Which will be the share capital first and reserve and surplus. After that will be my non-current liabilities, which includes my long-term borrowings and deferred tax liabilities and long-term provisions. लॉन्ग टर्म बोरोइंग्स भी इधर ही आएंगे, लॉन्ग टर्म प्रोविजंस भी इधर ही आएंगे. After that will be the current liabilities. For the current liabilities, it is the short term borrowing. It is the trade payables. It is the other current liabilities. Then it is the short term provisions. After that, the assets. This was all the part of the equities and liabilities. Now the assets. For the assets, first thing is the non-current asset. In which it includes the property, plant and equipment, PPE. After that comes the intangible assets. After that comes the capital WIP, capital work in progress. After that comes the non-current investments. Then comes deferred tax assets of the net value. Then comes the long-term loans and advances. After that comes the current assets. These are the non-current. So in that we have the current investments. Then we have the inventories. Then we have the trade receivables. Then we have the cash and cash equivalents. Then we have the short-term loans and advances. And then we have the other current assets. After that, our balance sheet total should be equal for the equity sides and the asset side. Keeping a look at the format of the ABC company, let us just mark it down in here. It will be like this. Looking at in the open view, these are the things which are included in the balance sheet. and how they are bifurcated is like that. So equities and liabilities becomes a part of the shareholders funds, which includes the share capital and the reserve and surplus, which is the total shareholders funds. After that, the non-current liabilities coming, which is the long-term borrowings and the deferred tax liabilities, and then the long-term provisions. It becomes the total non-current liabilities. After that, the current liabilities, which is the short-term borrowings, trade payables, other current liabilities, and short-term provisions, which is the total current liabilities. After that, the total equity and liabilities are formed. Total equity is and liabilities is the total of, let me just mark it down in here. Just give me a second. Total equities and liabilities is the sum of total shareholders fund and total non-current liabilities and total current liabilities. Okay. And similarly, total assets is the sum of total assets is the sum of total non-current assets plus total current assets. So non-current assets and current assets का जो sum होता है, that is the total assets. And for a balance sheet, assets should be equal to liabilities plus capital or equity. This should follow. Okay. So after that, the format must comply with the Schedule 3 of the Companies Act 2013. Like I said, ensure the proper classification and disclosure of the items as per the applicability of the accounting standards, and managerial remuneration is not included. So this is a basic structure and should be tailored to fit specific company details and compliance requirements. You can tailor it accordingly, but by following the accounting standards and the compliance with the Companies Act 2013 following the Schedule 3. So this was it regarding the format of the balance sheet and the profit and loss account. I hope you have understood the topic. Thank you so much.